Mark T the Handyman here. Today we're going to change the anode rod on this hot water tank. Hot water tanks are made of steel coated with a protective enamel lining, sometimes referred to as a glass lining. Anode rods can be made of magnesium, aluminum, or zinc. This replacement anode rod is made of magnesium. The water entering a hot water tank wants to attack the steel, but with an anode rod installed, the water coming into the hot water tank will attack the anode rod instead of attacking the hot water tank. There is a life expectancy with the anode rod, and because of this, the anode rod eventually becomes useless. It is recommended to replace the anode rod at some point. Typically, an anode rod will have 4 to 6 years of use, depending on what type of water you have. But it can be much sooner with systems that have hard water or systems with soft water. Annual inspections of the rod is recommended. This particular hot water tank is about 3 years old and has never had an anode rod inspection. So today we're going to remove the rod for inspection and see what it looks like. According to the manufacturer, this is the replacement anode rod for this hot water tank. This is the drain valve that we will be using to take the pressure from the hot water system and drain the hot water tank to a level where we can remove the anode rod. We will be draining the tank into this utility sink. We don't need to drain the whole tank completely, just a couple of inches below the surface where we know that the water will not come out when we remove the old anode rod. We will be able to figure out where the water is by feeling the side of the tank and then opening up the relief valve to make sure that it is below the level of the relief valve. First thing we need to do is to start to drain the tank. We need to make sure that the gas valve is in the off position. This hot water tank is an energy efficient hot water tank and uses electricity. So we are going to pull the plug to verify that the electricity is off. Now we are going to shut the cold water off to the hot water tank and drain the tank. Okay, so we've drained the tank to the level below the surface of the hot water tank, and now we are going to remove the old anode rod. All rods have the same size fitting on top. It's a 1 1/16 socket size. I will be using an impact hammer tool, but if you don't have an impact driver, then 1 1/16 socket and a socket extension bar will work. Just a side note, you do not want to drain the whole tank. The weight of the water will hold the tank still while you are trying to remove the old anode rod. This one came off fairly easy with the impact driver. In some cases, you will not be able to remove the rod from your hot water tank because you might not have enough clearance because of the location of the hot water tank. In this case, I do have the space, but if you don't, you can cut the old rod out with a saw as you pull it out of the tank. They do make a collapsing anode rod that you can use in the space if it's not there. Another solution would be to disconnect and drain the tank and lean the tank in a position that the new rod will fit into the tank. I want to point out that on the new threads, I not only use Teflon tape, but I also use a pipe dope for extra protection against leakage. I'm using the impact wrench to tighten up the new rod, but I'm not going to tighten the rod completely with the impact wrench. I'm going to use a socket wrench and hand tighten it so I can control how tight it actually is going to be. Okay, so now I'm going to open the cold water to the hot water tank, but I'm not going to do it fast. I'm going to do it in segments and let it to start to fill up and then finish opening it. The noise you are hearing is the air being pushed out of the hot water system. I have the hot water faucet on the utility sink open to let the air out of the system. I also have a hot water valve open on the bathroom sink upstairs to bleed some air out. Now that the hot water tank and the rest of the system is filled with water, I'm going to plug the hot water tank back in and make sure that my gas valve is on. It looks like the gas valve is on and we are plugged back in, and the hot water tank is starting to heat. Well, truthfully, I didn't expect it to look that bad. It's only 3 years old. Now we do have well water, but we have a nice filter on here and a softener. But it just goes to show you, this thing was seen its better day, so I'm glad I checked it and put a new one in. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up or a like. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.